5 innovative cosmetic training ideas to elevate team expertise.
Ritual training, creative learning tactics for high-performing cosmetic teams.
So today we're going to really talk about cosmetic training and retail teams and really discuss how they are expected to master an ever-changing array of products and trends, and really kind of think about what are 5 innovative ideas to really elevate those team experiences.
Yes, especially often with tight timelines and demanding retail environments. So we will look at a few techniques.
So at the Learning Lab, we did a little bit of brainstorming. I came up with some cool ideas of how you could really innovate and be creative with cosmetic training. And we came up with 5 ideas towards that. So first one is Insta learning. So really creating very fast, very visual, impactful training for beauty advisors on the go, a little bit like Instagram, right?
Yeah, definitely. Because in the world of cosmetics, every second on the shop floor counts. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we really know that beauty advisors need like quick, accessible knowledge kind of at their fingertips. We also know that almost everyone is nowadays familiar, at least, with like Instagram interface. And so we think this is such a fun way of engaging them, of helping them like create like a storytelling around a product.
Exactly, because Insta Learning offers an innovative solution by delivering fast visual and mobile-first training content that fits seamlessly into daily retail routines.
Yeah, so when you come to the shop floor, you can just open your phone, see a quick video about the product, and that can really then help you in your day-to-day kind of explanation of the product. I think definitely it shouldn't be underestimated the value that, especially for in the cosmetic world, retail employees' knowledge has when they can advise clients well. I think you just feel so much more taken care of. You have higher rates of confidence from the customer, and I think they're also going to be ready to spend more money at the end of the day. So whether it's like a quick 60-second spotlight or something else or skincare comparison, I think it's really useful to have those quick data formats, right? I think that's really key to kind of make it like really easy to use. I think ease of use is really key.
Yes, definitely. And to also come up with like different ideas how to incorporate this Insta learning approach. So for example, like a 60 seconds product spotlight, like a swipeable skincare comparison, or just a simple, let's say, quick reel on cross-selling techniques. Those are just to name a few examples of usage.
So before we go on to the next idea, just to kind of summarize this Insta learning idea, the idea really then is that you create like a very much a mobile first experience. It needs to be very short and sharp, so really quick bursts of knowledge to really avoid overwhelming the user with too much content, too much length as well. Needs to be very visual, right?
Yes, definitely. It's like led by design, I would say, as a first thing, and then definitely highly adaptable to really make sure that it's adjusted for product drops, campaign refreshers, or seasonal updates. But also, let's say, in terms of performance, to really support confident recommendations and expert level service. And I think those are the key ones.
Yeah. Maybe one more thing is to really just make sure that you like improve performance, you engage the modern learners, and you really just keep it very retail friendly. But I think we covered all of this first idea, so we'll go on to idea number 2. So idea number 2 is really about storytelling in cosmetic training. So really turning product knowledge into like kind of an emotional impact, right? Kind of working on this selling ceremony and selling story. Right?
Yes, definitely. Because in the world of cosmetics, selling is more than listing ingredients or features. It's about sparking emotion and really creating a connection.
So whether through like real customer stories or interviews or things like that, I think really having insights from brand ambassadors, you can also really then bring storytelling about a product to life. So I think also that's a good way for also the shop floor employees to learn about the storytelling around the product. seeing other people do it, hearing other people talk about the product, and understanding how they can use those words and emotions to describe a certain product in a certain, let's say, beauty ritual or cosmetic ritual as well. So yeah, they can then also have associations, right? And say, okay, this serum is like more confident, or like a lipstick color that pops, and they can kind of build their vocabulary around each product as well in a kind of natural way.
Yeah, so other benefits of including storytelling in cosmetics training is that it actually helps teams relate product to real customer needs and aspirations. So it's definitely something more relatable. And it also encourages experience-based selling rather than feature dumping, because then it makes it more real and more, let's say, emotional and engaging.
And I think that those kind of realistic examples, they're more relatable for, of course, the learner, but also for the end consumer. So I think you definitely don't want to have just a whole list of ingredients or data. You really want to have like a very specific real life example. And also it enhances really the product memorability and the team confidence. When you really know concrete examples to give, I think it just helps in every regard. You just want to like strengthen the brand value, right? And have this kind of customer loyalty. I think the authenticity is important.
Yes, definitely. And this kind of like approach really strengthens the brand values that are coming along with this training.
Yeah, absolutely. So the third one is bite-sized mobile-first learning. So really training that fits, let's say, retail realities.
Yes, definitely. So in the fast-moving cosmetic retail environment, long training sessions aren't always the best choice.
Yeah.
So that's why it's better to aim at nano learning, learning nuggets to really focus on smaller modules, smaller bits of learning, 1 minute here, 1 minute there, rather than 40 minutes training.
So I think one thing that's really key then is that it's very quick and focused, right? That you have quick, accessible, focused material that comes right to the shop floor and from the shop floor sometimes as well, so very sort of to the point. And that each module really tackles a single product or feature or customer objections, that you can also kind of really not get lost, let's say, in a whole array of material, that it's really kind of to the point and only on one topic at a time.
Yes, it's definitely easier to absorb and apply information on the go in this format rather than a massive, let's say, in-house of all the information. And I think it's also important to mention that whether it's between client appointments or during quiet store moments, you can really apply this micro learning approach.
Yeah, definitely. It's just going to be so much easier if you have a mobile first training that you can really learn in the moment when it's needed and not need to go and like log into a desktop and really have that short and snappy content. In summary, I think this idea just really focuses on having like a suitable learning environment for like, very quick phase learning environment, very short attention spans. I think you also want to increase a bit the knowledge retention, right? By focusing on one key point. I think that's really key.
Yes, and it also empowers teams with just-in-time learning at their fingertips, right? So they have it up really immediately. And this could also lead to boosting training engagement with formats designed for smartphones, so to have it really at hand.
Yeah, basically, I think this idea really focuses on like enabling like continuous learning without disrupting, let's say, the daily operations. That's really key.
Yeah.
Okay, point number 4. So idea number 4 is really about visual learning. So really seeing like video tutorials, like kind of see it, learn it, sell it. So we'll dive a little bit into that point now.
Yeah, so in cosmetic retail training, showing is often more powerful than telling. That's why visual learning is such a powerful approach here. And, through makeup demonstrations, step-by-step application videos, it's always easier and more, let's say, impactful even to really then help guiding teams through the learning process and to quickly grasp techniques and product.
Yeah, it's really about taking that complex information and kind of very easily simplifying it and showing the full potential of a product. I think that's also why YouTube tutorials in anything cosmetic, whether it's skincare or makeup, have gotten so much popularity, because it kind of breaks down sometimes relatively, complex concepts. I mean, people go to school to study how to, do beauty treatments and how to manage skincare and how to manage makeup. So I think they kind of break it down into very simple steps, and it kind of sparks this like peer-to-peer sharing. And you can also then have employees teach each other, and then also have them demonstrate really the correct cues to the client.
Yes, definitely, especially within the cosmetic retail training, right? It's all about what kind of products you want to use, what are the steps, and even, the techniques that you need to know how to apply a product. That's why visual side of it's super important.
So to summarize, I think it's really about making complex techniques easy to understand, right, through visual demonstration, and really like increasing product confidence with clear, like repeatable application steps.
Yes, and it also enhances memory retention by combining visual and auditory input. So I think it's really important to be highlighted. Aside from that, it encourages peer learning through team-created content, which is also a powerful approach. And last but not least, brings product results to life with authentic before-after visuals, which is always appealing.
Yeah, I think that's so key. You really see the real-life application of the product. So we can go to the next point. The idea here was to use also branching scenarios. So really practicing personalized selling in realistic client situations. We love this, right? Because it really puts, for example, cosmetic advisors in a specific situation with a client, and they can adapt then to each unique client need, rather than just basically talking through a script that's standard for everyone. So the training needs to, of course, reflect that as well, that they need to adapt to different needs in the moment.
Yes, definitely. And branching scenarios gave that possibility that you really are in front of realistic situations, and then the beauty advisors need to interact with virtual clients who have specific preferences, skin sensitiveness, or budget concerns, right? So let's say every unique need counts, and then you need to adopt it with a scenario-based learning.
Yeah, and so by choosing like different dialogue paths and like selling strategies, you can really see with the learners kind of their direct outcome of their choices. So you can almost place them in like a real life scenario without putting them in front of a real client. So that's what we love about branch scenarios, is that you can really say, okay, the client has this request, you can see the different outcomes based on whether you are more adapted to their needs or less adapted to their needs. You can maybe see a difference in success as well. So that kind of doesn't only reinforce product knowledge, but also allows like the critical thinking skills, right, of the employees to develop.
Yes, definitely. And also like soft skills, just to really, put them in the situation of a real scenario and really try to follow what they would normally perform at the shop floor.
Yeah, like you said, soft skills, so active listening, empathy, personalized advice. It's really all things that are very key. So in summary, it really builds real world confidence through like safe hands-on practice when you use these scenario-based learnings. And it also really encourages active listening, because I think you really want to avoid that your employee is going to go to the customer for any type of product and just roll off their standard script that isn't at all customer centric. So you really want them to first listen before they start advising.
Yes, exactly. And what it also does, it allows learners to explore multiple approaches and outcomes, multiple scenarios. So they are really almost ready for anything that could happen at the shop floor. Yeah. And it also reinforces adaptability for different client types and objections, which means they can really then go in and talk to different clients to really understand their needs and not just follow the script. And lastly, it improves engagement with interactive, decision-based learning. So it also is a bit more, let's say, fun and personalized in a way when you follow such a scenario, rather than simply, reading through the theory.
Yeah, and I think it's really great because you have this active learning curve in a very safe scenario, because at the end of the day, because they're not working with a real client in front of them, they don't need to learn the hard way. they can learn in a safe environment and make the mistakes in your model rather than on the shop floor, which is where you want to avoid them.
Yes, definitely a highlight.
So these were 5 ideas of how to enhance and engage the learner experience for your cosmetic training. I think we'll come back with more tips for sure.
Yeah, but those are especially a few ones to already look at, to analyze and see if that would reflect in your specific retail environment.
So to summarize, there's of course the scenario-based learning, very important, keeping it very visual, the kind of insta-learning approach, keeping it short and keeping it bite-sized. What, did I miss anything?
Yeah, I think maybe just to wrap up with storytelling part as well.
Absolutely. So we hope this was useful, and feel free to come back and watch our other video where we have 5 more tips for cosmetic training ideas.